Spartans! What is your profession?
People walk in like a fleeting breeze. People go like a summer breeze, whisper through my life, then vanish with ease. I ain't stuck replaying those fading tracks. Eyes on the road, no looking back. I don't care too much about who stays or leaves. Life's a wave I ride, no room for grief. What's ahead is gold, what's gone is dust. Never lean too hard, never break that trust.
They say you need roots, but I'm chasing skies. I'll plant my feet when the moment's right. I'm a rolling stone, not a chain to bind. Freedom in my veins is the state of mind.
They come with words like they mean forever, but forever's just a fleeting endeavor. I won't lean on what I can't control. I'm whole on my own, I keep my soul. I don't care too much about who stays or leaves. Life's a wave I ride, no room for grief. What's ahead is gold, what's gone is dust. Never lean too hard, never break that trust.
Dependency's a prison I won't call home. No one knows my journey, I'm on my own. Forward is the anthem, the beat I drum. The past is a shadow, the future's the sun.
I've seen faces fade like mist at dawn. Memories linger, but the moment's gone. I'm not bitter, just wiser with time. Each goodbye's a lesson that sharpens my mind.
Waves will crash and tides will shift. I'm the captain steering through the rift. No anchors here, I sail to the new. The horizon's bright with a better view.
I don't care too much about who stays or leaves. Life's a wave I ride, no room for grief. What's ahead is gold, what's gone is dust. Never lean too hard, never break that trust.
The ones who stay are the real foundation. Others just lessons in life's rotation. I'm not bitter, I just understand. The future's my treasure, it's in my hands.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We are back. We are back at it again. How is everyone doing tonight? I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are engineered to win. I will need my headphones, but if somebody calls in, I will get my headphones and we'll figure that out. But this is Tech Q&A and we are working on things tonight. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. How is everyone doing tonight? Hopefully everyone is doing absolutely phenomenal. Shout out to everybody who's watching on X. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch. Shout out to everyone watching on YouTube. I was gone for a week. We are back. I was live yesterday morning talking about some copyright stuff, working on N8N workflow. We're going to be continuing with that marketing N8N workflow tomorrow morning. But tonight we're going to be working on some on the homeschool app. We're going to be some features that I'm adding to it. Just about ready to go live with it. It's like every time you want to go live, you think, oh, I can do this, I can do that. Just a little bit more things, and then we are going to be going live with that app. All the good stuff, all of the good things. Last week, I was working on so many different applications and learning a lot. And so I have a few topics to discuss with you guys tonight. So quick TLDR of the plans for tonight, right? TLDR. Oh, shout out to Robert Glock. Oh my goodness. Just became a member of the channel. Shout out to you, Robert Glock. How are you doing? Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
But quick TLDR. So we're going to be talking about some different rabbit holes that I went down today or this morning. Last night, this morning. I'm telling you, when you are a token fiend and you are chasing tokens, it will get you down some crazy rabbit holes. I am just saying, all right. But talking about some rabbit holes, we're gonna be working on the homeschool app. Probably have to do that first because it's already 7:30. We have 5 credits to use before 8 p.m. before the re-up man comes. You know how we do. And then I want to talk to you guys about vibe coding isn't really what you think. People think, oh, vibe coding, you just sit back, relax. He says, I want you to do this, and it's just easy peasy. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I want to talk, and then I want to create a prototype with the a prototype. So if you guys have an idea, we'll do that. But I have an idea in mind, something I thought about yesterday. I'm like, hey, let me create a prototype. No functionality, but I just want to see what we can create. And I'll show you how I go about creating these prototypes. And then I want to end up talking to you about Midjourney. You guys know that I used to use Midjourney a lot. I want to give you an update on that. All right. So that is our plan for tonight. But as well, if you want to call in and have a conversation, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. However, I need to use my tokens before 8 p.m. So I really won't be answering the calls until then. If you call in, you just have to wait. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and do this as well. I won't turn on that notification. Boom. There we go. Boom. All right. So let's start off like this. So basically, the way that we're going to start off, I just want to say that we have to take care of a little bit of housekeeping first. A little bit of housekeeping, okay? So first and foremost, I want to say a big thank you to all of the subscribers to the channel. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to click on the subscribe button and letting me know that you find value in this in this channel and the information that I provide to you. My goal is always to add more and more value to you all. So thank you so much. I appreciate every last one of you.
I appreciate you.
And I just gotta give a big shout out to all of my Tech Coach Ralph Patreon members. Shout out to my Tech Barbarians that I work with one-on-one. My Tech Project members I also work with one-on-one. Shout out to the Technical Explorers who I just like every other weekend. That's my goal. Every other weekend, I go and like usually Saturday afternoon, go into start up a Google Meet, and I am just going through answering questions, having a one-on-one with you guys, working through different code and applications, giving you guys some insight on how you guys can get started, all of that good stuff. That's what we do inside of the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon. We collaborate, we have conversations. I get ideas from you guys. I give you guys ideas. So many people have started working on different things just by attending those meetups. So that's what we do in there. So if you're interested in getting some more insight, then go check us out over there. techcoachralph.dev. But shout out to all of the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon members. We are the best.
We the best.
And a big shout out and thank you to all of the Tech Mercenaries. Those are the YouTube channel members like Robert Glock just became. So shout out to the Tech Mercenaries for giving me the ability to come in and day out on YouTube to provide value to the entire world. And when I say the entire world, I've gotten people who have messaged me from Taiwan, from Russia, from all over the world. So because of you, Tech Mercenaries, I am able to reach the entire world, the entire globe. So thank you so much. Let's get it. And with that being said, if you have not done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content, and sign up for techcoachralph.dev, where we do a lot more amazing work in the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon. All right? Alrighty then. And Robert, oh, I said Robert, it's Robot Glock. I'm saying Robert, it's Robot Glock, my bad. Robot Glock says, are you still producing tunes? Any new jams? Well, interestingly that you ask, because on 4th of July, on Independence Day, I dropped the Captivity album, which is available on all streaming platforms. I'm going to just drop that in the chat right now. But if you heard the intro song, I don't know how long you've been even watching, but if you heard the intro song, that was one of the songs on the Captivity album called Moving Forward. And I know I always say it every time I do a new album, but this album is by far my very, very favorite. So check out the Captivity album, available on all streaming platforms. I absolutely love it. Moving Forward, The Outsiders. Um, I'm not I'm not that far removed. That one is a totally crazy, crazy one. I love it. I love that entire album. So check it out. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on that album. All right. But thank you so much for leading me right into that robot Glock. Shout out to you. All right. And then, so like I said, we're going to be going live tomorrow morning. We're going to be working on our N8N workflow, our marketing workflow that we had hijacked from a X post. And we're going to work on configuring it. And that post is supposed, and that workflow is supposed to be generating images and stuff like that, posting it to different social media platforms. With the amount of applications that we have coming out, we are going to need marketers on our team. And what better marketer than an AI agent marketer, where they work for you 24/7, no back talk, no question. You're like, hey, I need you to go and do this. They're like, oh, you got it. All right. So that is the plan. All right. And we're about, let me know what you think about the album. Let me know what you think about the album. I absolutely love it. All right. So tomorrow morning, it might be a little bit earlier because I have something to do at 8 a.m. So I might do it a little bit earlier, maybe like 7 a.m. We'll see. We shall see how it goes. But that is the plan. We're going to be working on our N8N workflow. Tomorrow at noon, we're going to be releasing a software explorations, and I'm going to be explaining how Devin actually helped me test my application as well. It did. It did. So a lot of amazing things that are happening with that. I'm going to be releasing that tomorrow at noon. We're going to be talking about these AI tools, how they are revolutionizing the game. All right. Let me see. All right. So that is the plan for today and tomorrow. And that's about it. That is about it. Let me get to the chat really quick. We have 20 minutes to use these 5 tokens. All right. So we are under the clock. All right. So let me check the chat real quick and then we'll get to work. We will get to work. Let's see. We got my guy Wave Nerd in the building. Wave Nerd says, good evening, good people of the chat. Good to be back down. Shout out to you, Wave Nerd. And we got my guy Junior in the building. Junior says, what's up, family? What's good with you, Junior? How are you doing on this beautiful, beautiful evening? All right, so that is everything. Let's get to work. So let me go ahead and log into this account somewhere. I have way too many tabs open. Let's close some stuff down. Let's go to... All right, let's just go to this tab. Let's see. So I did a lot of work on the that homeschool app. So we are going to jump in there. And what I want to do is I'm going to share the screen in just a second. I added to the events. Let's go over to here. I added to the ability to, and it looks different now, right? Because I did a bunch of work on it last week. I added the ability to have reoccurring events. I don't think it's working though. I do not think it's working. So I need to let's see, Instagram. I'm sure I'm not missing something. All right, cool. I need to check if it's working, and if it's not working, let's try to fix it. We have 5 daily credits to use, and my plan, like I got so efficient with my tokens that my plan re-upped, and I had a bunch of tokens left, a bunch of credits left to use on this account. It was a mess. It was a mess. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So we are going to, let me show you what I added to this. Right. So let's go over here, and this is gonna fit perfectly with another thing that I have to talk to you guys about. Of vibe coding isn't exactly what you think it is. Right. People make, oh, you just sit back and do this and do that. It ain't like that. It is not like that. All right. So we are logged in, and if we go to my calendar over here, I added the ability to do a reoccurring event. So let's go ahead and add an event real quick. Let's say this event is going to be, let's see, it's going to be go play, let's say basketball, Sunday basketball. All right. And I'm going to say personal, and let's say this is going to be, the location is going to be nearby park, and address, let's say Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right? I got to get the autocomplete thing working, and I have to make this optional as well. But let's say, and it's going to be on Sunday, 9. I gotta check this time zone thing too, because I don't know if this Eastern time is actually working correctly. But let's say this for me. Make this a recurring event, and let's if I do, all right, make it a recurring event. Let me put just for me, and let's say every week on Sundays, no end date, and so you'll see how I get to be so efficient doing this, because the more tech savvy you are, the better you're going to be at figuring this stuff out. So I say Sunday, no end date, and we're gonna say add event, and I get an error saying that could not find a recurring column of the unified event in the schema cache. So I'm going to take this error that I got here, right? And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, and this is what I learned in the past week, how you can't just expect AI to just do quote unquote everything for you. You have to, the more you know, the better results you're going to get. So if I go over here and I say, when I try to add a recurring event, I am getting an error message. This is what I have in the console logs. So, and for what I'm doing here, you don't really have to be super tech savvy to be able to do this, because I'm just giving it more context of the errors that I'm getting, and this is how I was able to fix a lot of issues. Right? So we have, and I don't have any errors here, but I did see, let me see, go add event. All right, this is the one I'm looking for, right? So now I say, and on this, I'm going to say copy the URL, and I'm going to post here on this endpoint. It is returning this error, right? So this is how I guide. This is how I guide copy object. This is how I guide the lovable, the AI software engineer, definitely a junior software engineer. But this is how I guide it in order to give me more accurate results. I give it exactly what the issues are, instead of saying, oh, it's not working, and now it's going to start guessing. I say, okay, this is exactly what's happening over here. Okay, so I'm going to send that, and this is going to be my first credit being used. And if it needs to say, oh, we need to do some type of database work, and that's going to be an additional token, additional credit. So now it says, looking at the error, the issue is that the database schema doesn't include the recurring events field that we are trying to use in the code. Like I said, it didn't exist, so now it has to create it. The error message indicates that the is occurring column doesn't exist in the unified events table. I can see from the migration that file that the recurring events were added, but they haven't been applied to the actual database yet. We need to run the migration script. So this is the script that it's going to do. And this is for us to be able to schedule have reoccurring events that automatically pop up, right? So let's do kind of like how you have it in Google Calendar, which that is, I was also working on trying to sync events that you add here into your Google Calendar, but that was a little bit tricky, which is going to go into another talking point of the vibe coding isn't really what you think it is. It sounds good. It sounds good until you actually start to do it, and then you start running to issues, to say the least, right? All right, I thought I did this. Let's see. Okay. I wonder how that used 2 credits already, because all that I did was say that and then say apply. I don't know, whatever. So let's go here. Robot Glock says taking notes in case there's a quiz. That's awesome. You never know. There might be a pop quiz. But to be honest, Robot, what I would say is, instead of a quiz, to go and like get the free lovable, where they give you 5 credits a day up to 30 credits for the month, and just try putting something together based on like, I think the challenge is being able to use as least credits as possible and build the most as possible, right? How much can you build? How far can you get? I think that would be a pretty good challenge. How far can you get with 5 credits a day, 30 credits for the month, right? Let's see. So, all right. So the database migration has successfully been applied. Now I need to update the recurring events table component and properly handle the select days to get past the function. Perfect. I've updated this to properly handle database schema and fix the issues with the reoccurring event fields. Cool. So we have 2. That used like 3 credits all in like that. That was that was painful. That was painful. It used 3 credits all in one shot. All right, so but it's all right. So we're gonna do, let's say again, Sunday morning basketball, and I just, like, a lot of times I'll just work with the console open so I can see what's going on, right? And we'll say personal, and we will say local park, and let's say Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And we'll say that. We'll say this coming Sunday morning. We'll say 0900 a.m. We will say Eastern time. And we'll say that, make reoccurring. And every Sunday morning, we will do that. All right, let's see if that got fixed. So let's see if that got fixed. All right, let's see. Not quite yet. So we have another error. So same thing. I'm gonna do the same exact thing, because now it's failing on the generate reoccurring events request. So I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna say we got past the first unified events error, but now on the endpoint below, we are getting a different error, right? So let's go here, paste that in there. Oh my God, I made such a, you know how sometimes when you press enter and it goes to the next line, and sometimes when you press enter it submits. I pressed enter the other day to go to the next line, and it actually submitted. And I was so mad. I threw it, like, it just said, well, if you tell me what you're gonna say, I can help you. I'm like, oh, I just wasted a whole credit. I'm a credit hoarder. Okay, I am a credit hoarder. So let's do that, and let me see if I have anything in the console. And do we have any errors? Yeah. And I will say this one. So it's probably going to either have to create a function or it's going to have to do some more database type stuff, right? So we're going to go here. This is the error from the console. All right. And if this needs to make some database change for the generate reoccurring events, then that's going to be our two credits right there, right? It's going to be just like that. Let's see. Yep, like I said, it's going to take another. They're hilarious. So looking at the error, it seems like the generate recurring function wasn't properly created in the database. The error indicates that the function cannot be found in the schema cache. Let me check Postgres for useful context. Yeah. The issue is that current date is a reserved keyword in Postgres and cannot be used as a variable name. You should have known that. Let me fix the function by using a different variable name. All this database type stuff. Please review and approve. And we're going to say iteration date. Let's do that. Cool. So there goes that token. Then it's going to be, there goes our tokens. Hey, you guys know my pain. You guys know my pain. All right. Generate recurring events function has been successfully created. In the database, the reoccurring events functionality should now properly work. All right, so we are going to give that, and look at that, zero of your month. So we use our 5, but I have 100 tokens, and I got so efficient. I got so efficient last month working across 2 accounts that I barely even used all of my. I had like a bunch of. And I wasn't even here. Oh, look at, what is this? All right, let me see. Let's edit this. Is it reoccurring? Weekly on Sundays. Let's save that. And did it go through? Event follow. All right, so let me refresh this page again. It looks like it's going through. Sunday, but I don't have it showing here though. Let me see. Let me refresh one more time. Sunday. All right, let me edit this. Let's say this is on the 20th and it's recurring on Sundays, so it's not saving it. Let's say we save. And we have this day. Let's refresh. We have it on here, but it's not. It's reoccurring, but it's not. All right, so it's not. Okay, so since we have credits, we're going to use it. We're going to use our credits. So I'm going to say we aren't getting any errors when saving the recurring events. However, they are not being, when going back to the event, it doesn't show as it shows that actually it shows, I'm just describing the issue. It shows as recurring, but it doesn't have the day that is selected for it to be recurring. It also doesn't show on the calendar that there is an event set for that date. So let's see what happens with this, right? And then once I'm done with this, once this works, I have one more thing that I want to get working. And being that we have some tokens, then we can go ahead and try to implement that as well. And then like on this account, what I plan to do on this account, because I'll explain about I'm going to answer Robot's question about the database, and I'll explain to you why on this account I'm going to be using it to do prototypes. And if I'm going to proceed with that prototype, then I'm going to move it over to I'll move it over to my main account, my quote unquote business account. All right, so since I can see the issue, there are a few problems with reoccurring events implementation. The selected days of the week aren't being properly saved or loaded back when editing. The reoccurring events instance might not be getting created properly. The calendar might not be showing the general. Okay. Thank you for reiterating what I told you. All right, so let's see. It's making changes. But something that I learned this past week, the ability to read, even if you don't like, because for me in particular, I am not the best at writing JavaScript code. Like if it's some Python code, I will figure out Python code. If it's JavaScript code, I am like, it's tough for me. React code, tough for me. But the fact that I know how to read it and understand it and manipulate it, that was a total game changer for me. And I still have this. Let me put this down. All right, cool. So let's see. So right now it's making all the changes. All right, I made several key fixes to resolve the recurring events issue. Fix recurring events component now properly handles the selected days of the week with correct state management and form synchronization. Updated edit event form now properly loads and displays the reoccurrence day of the week when editing a recurring event so that you can see which days were previously selected. Enhance calendar queries. The calendar now fetches all events, including generated recurring instances, and displays them properly. Edit debugging logs. The main issues were the days of the week weren't being properly synced between the UI state and the form data. The events form wasn't loading the reoccurrence date of the week. Form validation needs handling needs properly handling array. All right, cool. So and let's give it another try. I am going to take this one, edit, and if we say make it recurring, we say, oh, it's showing up here. Let's say save. Refresh that. Oh, wait, no, I don't see it. I don't see it showing up there. When should I see it though? Let me go back and look at this. So it says that now properly handles the selected day of the week. Okay. Enhanced calendar queries. The calendar now fetches all events, including generated reoccurrences, and displays them properly. So if I click here, I want to believe that. All right, let me add a new one. Let me see. Let's say jujitsu. And that would be in, let's say, personal for BJJ Gym. Let's say that's also in Fort Lauderdale. And let's say that's on Mondays. Let's say 0600 p.m. And we're going to say this for now. Let's say it's for one of the kids. Make it reoccurring. And we say, let's say Monday and Wednesday and Friday, weekly. And we add that event. Ooh, look at that. We found another issue. Look at that. So, let me try to fix this one and then we'll move on to something. There was another thing I want. Let me see. I do want to implement one more thing, but let's go to when I tried to assign a recurring event to a child, I got a, and this is the importance of software testing, right? I got a different error message. Here is the endpoint. Here is the error. And we go to copy object, and I go to here, and I paste that, and I look in the console, and I say, boom. All right, console. But then this is the thing when adding a new feature, there's so many different intricacies that, like, for me, this is like, I see a lot of people complaining, oh, mistakes here, mistakes here. I've been doing this kind of work for the past 15 to 20 years, testing quality and stuff like that. So for me, like, telling it what to do and testing it to make sure it works, that's just another day at the office for me. That is just another day at the office for me. More tokens. All right. So it says the error is caused by an ambiguous column reference in the generate reoccurring events function. The parent event ID parameter name conflicts with the column name in the insert statement. Please let me fix this by qualifying the column reference. All right. I guess. And then after that, whether the reoccurring works or not, I will worry about that tomorrow. I do want to add one more feature, or try at least to add one more feature, and then we will move on with our lives for tonight. All right. Let me see. All right, the SQL has been successfully applied, and the ambiguous column has been fixed. You can now test creating recurring events again. All right, creating daily recurring events. Okay, let's give it a try. And then I'm going to ask it one last thing. All right, so let's go here, refresh. Let's do BJJ for Jonathan. I spell Jonathan. Jonathan. Is that how you spell it? Let's just say John for John. How about that? And and then we'll say personal BJJ gym, and we're gonna say Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and we'll say 21st 0600 p.m. We'll go with this one, which is something I have to fix anyways. And we'll say to the child, I guess that is how you spell his name. All right. And we'll say make it reoccurring. We'll say Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And we will add the event. What? Use Fort Lauderdale. Add the event. What? Hold on. All right, well, that's enough. I will continue working on this. It adds this here, but it doesn't really do the reoccurring yet because we're getting another error. But I'll figure that out. I will figure that out. But that's what we do. We used, how many tokens did I use? I used 3 so far. The 5 plus the 3, which 3 a day. If you're doing this every day, 3 of your own tokens a day, if you have the 100 tokens, is a good amount. I didn't even use 3 because the re-up happened. So I only use one token. What a time to be alive. All right. Anyways, we might get back to this because I do have some other features I want to implement. But let me check the chat, and then we'll talk about something else. All right. So let me see what we got going on in the building. And if anyone wants to call in, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. It's in the description. It is circulating throughout the chat as well. So feel free to call in and we can have a conversation. But we have Bozos Paid said, well, how's it going? How is it going over on the Twitch site. Shout out to everybody on Twitch, all right? Let me see. Robot Glock said, catching the fun live tonight. Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Taking notes in case there is a quiz at the end. You never know. You never know. All right. So this is a great question from Robot. It says, the chat prompt has a connection to your database? Yes. So on the Lovable platform, I don't know about other platforms, but on Lovable, it integrates very, very closely with Supabase, and Supabase pretty much manages your sign in, like your users, your database, your functions. So it can create your database, it can create your user management, which also goes along with that learning curve that I'm going to be talking about in a little bit, right? But yes, it integrates perfectly. And with Supabase, they give you, with their free tier, they give you 2 free projects that you can do. So that's why I always say get started. Ask Junior. He was able to use that in order to get his app going, and storing information. So yes, you do with Unlovable Supabase, the connection is strong, and you can get started that way, right? So, but it's really, really cool that all in one spot you can get a bunch of stuff done. Let me see. Robot says, shift enter, I think is a new, yep, it is a new line. But sometimes you forget to press that shift, or you go too fast and you just send something that you did not want to send. Junior says, let me see. Ooh, that's kind of small. Says, so since you put basketball at a local park, the system will have to know who's local to what event, so they won't see everybody's event all the time. So maybe a regional calendar or city calendar. I put local park just for my sake, but if you were going to be sharing this, let's say you want to say Sunday basketballs, right? Sunday basketball, and you wanted to make it a public event, so you could do something like this, right? Let's say you are over here. This kind of goes out of the context of homeschooling, but let's say some application that has a calendar type thing, right? So if we're to do the basketball event, right? Why is that on Sunday? That's interesting. Anyways, all right. So if we go here and we say edit, and I can close this, I think. And I said that I can't. Personal. Let's see. So let's say I create a new event, right? If I go to Sunday basketball, right? And I say community, or maybe it's public, share public, right? Maybe I could say not community, personal, make it public. And we say, I'm not going to do the make reoccurring yet, but let's say we pick the date Sunday 0900 a.m. Let's say that's Eastern time. And we say that it's just for me. If I do this add event, it's going to tell me location, address. So let's say I put the name of the park, right? ABC Park, right? And I say add event. It's created. I have it here, community. So now if I were to go to events, then I would have Sunday basketball, because that's just how I built it. That's how I built it. So you can make something public where you want everybody to see it. So now whoever is on the app, they can say, oh, they're going to be playing Sunday basketball, which I should probably click on this somehow. I'm going to add a way to like see the details of these events. But where you can click on it and then it can give you the details about, okay, where is this event happening at? So that is a good call. Let me add that to my notes of things to do. But let's say we go over here and we say community/public events need a view details option. All right, cool. So thanks for that, Junior. Thank you for that. But that is how what you're saying about like, if you're going to be sharing something public, then you want to put like the name of the place, the address of the place to be accurate. But if it's something that is just for you, you can put it for whatever you want. So I was like, I didn't want to share like any particular location data over here, but that's what that is. All right, let's continue. Wave Nerd says, been there with the enter button. Junior says, yep, I hate when I press enter without holding down the shift. It wastes my credit. Bruh. I know what you mean. We got my guy, Memysify, in the building. Says, good evening to me, to Junior, to Wave, to Robot, and the beautiful Miss Roxy in advance, and everyone in the chat. Hope all is well. I am doing wonderful. How are you doing, Memysify? I saw you posted a video the other day. Shout out to you. How are you doing, Memysify? Let's see. Robot says, lovable, great name for an AI chatbot. Yup. Junior says, sometimes I type my prompt in notes first and copy. That is smart. That is a smart move right there. But I'll tell you this. I will tell you guys this, right? Junior is, because I know he's about to leave soon, but Junior is impressive to me because from not being very tech savvy at all to now like making the most of his credits and building out his application, and learning a lot from that process, right? So shout out to my guy Junior. All right, so let's say that's done. And let's go over to some of the rabbit holes. Let's go over to some of the rabbit holes with building stuff, right? It costs money to build things. Whether you're building a house, whether you're building an application, whatever it is you're building, it costs money. What do I mean by it costs money? So you need to build a working functional application. It can cost money if you need a software developer, software engineer, whatever. But then you're going to need infrastructure. You're going to need APIs. I had to, on my main account, I had some credits to use yesterday, and there were some features that I wanted to implement on one of my apps, right? And I said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and implement this feature. Almost 10 credits later, so the 5 that we get, plus 10 credits later, and going into Devon to actually fix the issues that Lovable was not able to fix, to get it to close, to how I want it to work, it was a major, major rabbit hole. However, I will say this though, using the right tools, it's still cheaper than trying to find an engineer to do it for you. So the way that you saw with my prompting style, the way that you saw with me investigating the code, if I was to just try to do it through chat, it would have been a total mess. In addition, like I was working on another application and it's trying to read particular data, and I literally had to go into the code inside of the code in Lovable and say, all right, I was doing a bunch of manual work, but that's because I actually understand the code. But you end up you go like, all right, let me try to fix this, and you can end up 15, 20 tokens in when you're like, I just wanted to fix this and it's not doing it. That's because the complexity of what you're asking it to do, it's just not, it just can't think that far ahead to do that investigation. And to me, when I see these platforms, it is supposed to be an assistant instead of you just tell it what to do and it's just gonna be able to do it. It's not that easy. But like I went down, I said do this, and I was so excited about the feature that I wanted. That I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna pay Devin to try to fix it. So I spent about like almost $50 on Devin today to fix that feature, which it's 99% working. Still got a little bit more work to do on it, but you know, it is what it is. So the less tech savvy that you are, the more of a headache you're going to get when you have a really, really cool idea. I see posts on Reddit, on X, where they're talking about, it sucks and stuff like it. For me, it doesn't suck because I know how to troubleshoot. I know how to read the code. I know how to look at the console. I know how to look at I know what the API is telling me, what the errors mean, and I'm all right. This is what you have to go to do to fix it. And sometimes I even jump in there and I fix it myself and I say, okay, I fixed this. Now I need you to do this. Just so I can save on my tokens, because you know I am a token fiend. But I'm also cheap. I'm also a very, very functional, frugal token fiend. All right.
You're such a nerd.
I am. But it's all good. It is all good. All right. But that's the thing. Like that's how I think once more, like software engineers really start to embrace these tools, they're gonna go so much more faster. And I'm already thinking of like different ways that I can use this to add more value, just to add more value into the world, into the people that I'm working with, like all over. That is. This allows you to do a lot more with a lot less, but a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you're not gonna need to learn about software development, about web development, software engineering, and everything like that." And I'm like, well, because I think it's a ploy. I think it's a marketing ploy. They tell you that so you can be overly reliant on Lovable, on Make.com, on Cursor, on Devin. They want Devin for a team plan is $500 a month for 250 credits, right? $500 a month. So if you are fully relying on it and you don't know what you're doing, then you're just going to be like prompting and praying. Prompting and praying. That's what's going to happen. So the way that I see it is that it is very, very important that you still learn how to. You don't have to be an expert. So you don't have to be an expert. Because for me, I know, like, if I really wanted to struggle through building a React app, you saw me build the React app for the quotes application, for the what is the other one called? Economic Dictionary, the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. It was slow. This builds it really, really fast, but because I know how to read the React code, how to read the TypeScript, how to read JSON, how to map stuff, I'm able to more efficiently use my credits. I'm able to more efficiently interact with the I'm able to interact with the platforms, right? So interacting with Devin, interacting with Lovable. I'm gonna try out Make soon. I'm gonna try out Cursor soon, but I'm able to interact with them, and that makes me so much more efficient. And even when you go down rabbit holes, you kind of know your end goal, your end destination, and it doesn't end up costing you a fortune, right? Because I'll tell you this. I was trying to get Lovable to fix the issue that I was working on earlier today, right? And after 5 credits, I'm like, all right, Lovable was not going to be able to fix this. I went over into Devin. I said, all right, Devin, here's some money. Threw some money at threw some change at Devin, and I said, this is the issue that I'm having. Devin got to work, fixed part of it, and I threw some more money at Devin, and then was finally able to fix it for the most part. And here we are. So you can go down these rabbit holes, but I just think that the more you are technically inclined, the more you learn how software development, and that's what I think, that computer science is not going away. Computer science is not going away. They are fear mongering you by telling, oh, AI is replacing software engineers. Yeah, they are at some places, but guess what? That means that other places that can't afford you, or some other places that were priced out of the market, they're going to need you, because let's put it like this: if a company, if a regular person wants to build an app and they say, oh, I'm just going to vibe code it, and they have absolutely no idea what they're doing, they're like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll just hire this person to do it for me, or maybe I'll freelance it and I'll be able to do it for them. And now there's more opportunity. The people at the top, they don't just have. I heard that Goldman Sachs is getting Devin. I think like like I don't know how they're doing it, but they're getting Devin, right? They're going to be using Devin. Well, that means whoever would have been a candidate to be hired at Goldman Sachs, now other companies can have them as well. So that's just how I see it. I am not afraid. I am not afraid of AI. From what I've seen as a software engineer, as a QA engineer, it just makes me more powerful. So that's how I see it. That is how I see it. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to try to implement one more feature on the community, on the homeschool one, and then we're going to create a prototype and stuff like that. All right, so let's go ahead and let me check the chat first. All right. Let's see. Let me see. We have Memysify says still mentally struggling. You're in our hearts, Memysify. It's hard. I know it's hard. But keep moving forward, keep pushing forward, and we know that you're going to make it to the other side. All right. We are with you. And we have a Marquavius. Marquavius says, did you say government at all? I did not say government yet. Magnetar. Let's see. Junior says prompting and praying should be a slogan. I might have to put that on a t-shirt. Junior. Let's see. It says stop giving away my secret identity. Oops. What's going on over here? It says YouTube is doing the exposing. Wave Nerd says praying over my prompt before I hit enter is a regular over here when I'm trying to do something tricky. That is a fact. That is a fact. We got Marquavius with the Sith Coach Ralph.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Andrew says that's different though. You guys are so funny. You guys are hilarious. All right. So I really wanted to do one more feature. This reoccurring thing is a lot trickier than I thought, but I will revisit the reoccurring thing. Let me see something real quick. What I want to do, I want to see if this is possible. So, I want, when I have an upcoming event in my calendar, let's see if this is possible, because I just want notifications. Calendar. I want a notification sent to the browser or to my phone. Phone notification. I don't know, something like that. Notification, so that I can be aware of an event. Let's see. That was what I don't even know how I would test this, right? I don't know how I would test this, but I kind of do. Let's see. So because it should say, oh, this wants to send notifications, and you say yes, allow notifications. Let's see. So let's see if we try to do if we try to add notifications, what happens? I'm gonna revisit the reoccurring thing because I do want to get that to work. But if it can add an event now, good enough. Good enough. All right, I'll help you implement browser notifications for upcoming calendar events. This will involve creating a notification system that checks for upcoming events and sends browser notifications. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And I think you can actually see what it's doing as well. Yeah, so you can actually that's pretty cool. You can actually see it writing the code. I think that's a good view. Take care, Junior. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Have a great Bible study. By the way, Rod Brown is supposed to be going live tomorrow, so make sure we tune into Rod Brown's channel tomorrow. All right, I've implemented a comprehensive notification system for our calendar events. Here's what to include: browser notifications, native browser notifications for upcoming events, smart timing 30 minutes and 5 minutes before timed events, 9 a.m. notifications for all day events on the event day, 6 p.m. notifications for evening before tomorrow's event, permission management, easy to use interface to enable disable notifications, auto refresh check for upcoming events every minute, smart caching, prevent duplicate notifications for the same event. How it works: the notification setting card appears at the top of your calendar page. Click enable to grant browser notifications. The system automatically monitors your upcoming events. You'll receive timely notifications based on your event schedule. Mobile support: browser notifications will work on mobile devices when you add the web app to your. Oh, okay. For native mobile push, you would need a mobile app which could be built using capacitor. What is capacitor? The system respects browser notification permissions and provides clear feedback about the notification status. Users can easily see how many upcoming events they have. What is capacitor? What is capacitor? To build apps, to build mobile apps. Have you guys heard of capacitors? Capacitor is a cross-platform native runtime that allows web developers to build mobile and desktop applications using web technologies like HTML. It provides a bridge access to native features through plugins, enabling web apps to function like. Oh, interesting. Capacitor is an open source native runtime for building Android. Access core native APIs or extend with your own. What in the world? Are you guys seeing this? Are you guys seeing this? Access core native APIs or extend with your own. Local notifications. Geolocation. Camera. Custom. What? Building cross-platform with apps with capacitor. Ship cross-platform mobile apps 10 times faster. We wrote a free guide when and. Oh my God. Build web-based applications that run equally well across iOS, Android, and as progressive web apps. Son of a gun. What did we just stumble into? So if I go over here, we could say to that maybe I'll do this on the weekend. Maybe I'll do this in the Patreon. Maybe we'll do this in the Patreon. Because what if first I'm gonna get this site live, right? But what if we were to install capacitor so that the Homeschool Hive app could have a mobile app as well? We shall see. We shall see. All right. Let's see. Let me add one more. I'm just curious about the notifications, right? So let me refresh. Events notification. Look at that. Browser notifications, get notified about upcoming events. Notifications will be sent 30 minutes and 5 minutes before events. So let me try this real quick. Let's say we do enable and we say allow for the site, and it's enabled. So now let me add an event real quick. So let's say we have an event at, let's say we do test event. Test, and we say, let's say personal location name, test, and Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Use that, and we'll say today 0900, or let's say 0905 p.m. Think Eastern, and let's just say personal, and we will say add event is added, and 9:05 p.m. So in theory, we should get a notification in 2 minutes. I am interested to see if this is going to work, right? That'd be really cool. And then if we can set up capacitor on this to create mobile apps for us, oh my god, that'd be a total game changer. Okay, so that's the event that I wanted to. That's the feature that I wanted to add. Well, I'm just curious to see if it's gonna work. We shall see. But let me see. Let me look at my agenda. So after this, I'm gonna wait till 9:35. But after that, then we're going to. I want to talk about vibe coding isn't really what you think it is, and how it forces you to learn. Actually, from what I see, vibe coding forces you to learn. So that's going to be our next topic of discussion. I'll check the chat in a minute. I just want to see what happens at 8:35 to see if I get any kind of event that's going to be triggered, or any kind of notification that's going to be triggered. But let me see. So then we're going to talk about vibe coding is what you think. That we're going to do creating a prototype for a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu app idea that I had. Because if you do Jiu-Jitsu, then I'm pretty sure you've been to BJJ Fanatics, where they have tutorial, like instructionals. All right, so 9:35 is here, but I don't know if it's let me see. I didn't get a notification. Let's see what we got going on. I don't know if that time zone thing is accurate though. Let's see. We have this. Let me see something real quick. I know I see it here. I just don't know. And I know we have it set up to show notification. I just don't know if the time zone thing is reflecting accurately. If I look at... let me try to filter for events, maybe. Unified events. And we look at, this is called test event. Event, no, that's not this one. I don't see it. It's not this one. I don't see the event. Has to be like one of the last ones I added. Let me refresh. Huh. I see it here. I don't see it added over here. Oh, well, I'm looking at the wrong one, actually. Oh, no. Oh, there it goes, I think. Yep, there it goes right here. 2105, which should be 9. But where, though? Create updated at... So what time do you have here? Oh, they have a different time than us because... Interesting. So I have to figure out the time zone thing. But getting the events, getting the notifications to work, that is going to be a really, really cool thing. Just gotta figure out the whole time zone thing. Because that's an issue. Because you see, like, technically this already passed when it was created, so figuring that out. Anyways, that's the thing. I know it's possible. We just gotta mess around with it just so the time zone can be accurate and go from there, right? So, let me check the chat real quick, and then we will move on. Let's see. And if anybody wants to call in, the link is in the chat. It's also pinned to it's pinned to the top of the chat and circulating throughout the chat in the description. So feel free to call in and have a conversation about whatever your heart so desires. Tech related, of course. All right. So let me see. Marquavius says, remember that Army GPT I told you about? Just found out it can't replace me a few months ago. Well, shout out to you. I don't think that Army GPT would be capable of replacing you anyways. So I was never worried about that. Honestly, these GPT things are mainly for giving information. Like, you can have them automate some things, but they still need somebody to direct them, you know? And plus, for the type of job you do, I don't know. Let me see. Marquavius also says the only way it could is if some bigwig tries to spin the narrative that it is good enough to replace humans. It is not. It is not good enough to replace humans because you still need to direct the robot. You still need to control the robot, all right? Wagner says prompting on a prayer, take my hand, prompt on a prayer. Oh, that's a hit. That might be my next song. That might be my next song. Prompting on a prayer. I might even make it a country song. I might, you know what? We should go create a song right now. Let's do a quick little pivot, all right? Let me go to over here. A little pivot. We're gonna create a song real quick. We are going to create a song. Let's see here. Let's go over here. Let's say full song. I need a song. So this is Suno that I'm using, right? I need a song. So let's say the troubles of vibe coding. I try to get my AI engineer to do what I ask, but we're always going back and forth, and then my tokens are gone and I'm left high and dry waiting for the re-up. Just say I'm always prompting on a prayer. Let's go with that. And we're going to say write the lyrics. And the title of the song, Prompting on a Prayer. Tokens dropping like rain from the sky. I'm typing fast, but the answers fly back and forth. We dance this game. Engineers grinned. I'm to blame. Words are my currency fading away. My hopes on the line. My thoughts in the frame. Let's go with. So this one, I type it out and I hit return, but the answers twist and turns. All right, so we're gonna go with. Let's go with this one. And what I like to do is, let's go with that. And we're gonna say country music, country male vocals, very depressive, sad and sad, female chorus, heavy country accent, anything else? Let's see. What else would I have in this song? Duet. Let's go with that. Let's see what we can get. All right, so I'm gonna hit create. I'm gonna let it do its thing. While it's generating that song, we're going to talk about this. All right, so let's go with this one. All right, so part puller. So vibe coding is not. Let me throw up a title for this one as well, right? Because this is gonna be let me go with this. Let's go with that. And we're gonna go like this, right? So vibe coding is not what you think, right? So before I actually started using these platforms, and when I first started using it, and I like within the first couple of days, I was at 95 tokens out of 100, and I was like, all right, I need to be smarter about this. So what I have learned in this past month of using AI to build applications is there is so like the only thing that these platforms do for you is write the code, which is hard. It's very hard, but you still need to know, because like on Lovable, this is what it'll tell you, right? It's just so if you need to generate a PDF, so now I learned about different PDF API providers, the cost about those, how to get those to generate, about sending emails. So like if you have an application that's supposed to send an email, I learned technologies about sending emails. My knowledge back from tech support 20 years ago about setting up MX records. Boom. What if you build an application, right? So let's take Junior's application, for example. And let's say you have to log into his application, but you want to be able to use logging in through Google, through Apple, through LinkedIn, through GitHub, through Facebook. You're gonna have to know how to set up these different accounts on these platforms. So you need to set up OAuth account on Google. You need to set up OAuth account on LinkedIn. The apps that I've been building, I've had to go to to realms unseen. Things like I've done it a little bit on certain platforms, but I had to go figure out PDFs, figure out sending emails, figure out GitHub to sign in using GitHub, sign in using LinkedIn, sign in using Google, sign in using Facebook, sign in using Apple. All these different platforms I have to go to in order to figure out like one of the applications has like an editor on there, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I had to guide Lovable in how to get like I'm getting this error. Why is this happening? And I'm using Gemini to guide me into fixing the issue. And I'm copying the response that I get from Gemini and I'm pasting it into Lovable. So all right, use this in order to fix this. On one application, I have PDFs being generated, right? So now when I go to apply it to another application, I'm getting the same issue that I got on the other application, so I know exactly what to do. It's like, okay, this is how you're gonna fix it. This is how you're gonna work around it, so I don't end up spending all the credits that I used on the other application. By being able to get past the barrier of building the actual application, because by being able to get past being a coding expert to build the application and the amount of time it takes to get there. So if you had to learn how to code, right? You know, they say, oh, just learn to code, and you have to go, and you go to a boot camp that you're going to be wasting your money on. But if you had to go to learn how to write, because let's be real. If you wanted to learn how to build a valid web application, right? And you're taking the 100 days of, no, it's not 100 days of code. It's the let's say Angela Yu, for instance, right? How to become a full stack developer. It starts you off with the basics, the very, very basics of HTML. So what's a title tag? What's a paragraph? What's not even a div? What's the body tag? The very, very basics of HTML. And once you spend like a week or two going through the basics of HTML and you're still kind of fuzzy on it, then it takes you to what is CSS? And you spend like maybe another few weeks on CSS. And then you go into JavaScript. And now you spend like a month or two on JavaScript. And then once you finish with JavaScript, now they start getting you into the more complex stuff that it's going to be hard for you to process unless you're actually building something real. So using these platforms gets you past that barrier, although it's still, like, I would say, use a platform to build what you want to build in parallel of taking the course so you can actually understand what it's doing, so you can read the code, so you can troubleshoot it in the long run. But now, figuring out, how do I set up the OAuth? What's a callback? Why am I getting this error? How do I troubleshoot? And that's why, to me, vibe coding is not really what you think it is. You'll see, and that's one of the way that they market to you, like, let's do this real quick. Let me go to Lovable. So, if we look at the Lovable homepage, right? Build something lovable, create apps and websites by chatting with AI. Sure, yeah, you're gonna create apps by chatting with AI. But then I've seen on Reddit when people say, have you built like you can't build something substantial. You can just create a UI, something like that. I think that's not true. I think you can build something substantial, but you're gonna have it's not just like through chatting. And let me log out of this so you can see what I mean, right? Sign out. So on the homepage of Lovable, for instance, right? Let me refresh the page. So create apps and websites by chatting with AI. See, maybe because I remember you used to say like, oh, you can do something with like no code whatsoever. And you're not going to build something just by chatting, because if I log back in, I'll show you. If I log back in and I go to here, I don't know if I have any, well, I think I do, right? But all this database code. If you're looking at, let me see if I can find one of these codes over here. Let's see if I can find it. SQL migration. So look at this. Google OAuth callback function logs. So look at this. Setting these redirect URLs, understanding how OAuth works, all these different type of things where it's complex stuff. It is. If you're building some basic app, sure, no problem. You can just prompt your way through it. But the more complex, the more intricate, the more advanced your app gets, you're gonna have to start going around and really understanding. And I'll tell you this, I learned how the OAuth worked through taking the full stack web development course, right? And it had me actually implement it. So when I'm setting it up now, I'm like, okay, I remember this, and that's why I say it's still very, very important that you learn this stuff. If you think AI is just going to do it for you, you are absolutely wrong. It will tell you,
do not come.
So that's why it makes me, and I'm gonna say it makes me a lot better than the people who are trying to, who have no background in code and they're trying to figure this stuff out, and they're getting so frustrated because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. And if you take the time to actually learn the background, the intricacies of software development, of coding practices, of APIs, then when you actually use these platforms, then you're not spending an egregious amount of money, and you're building something a lot more robust and a lot more powerful. All right, but that's my thought. That is my thoughts on vibe coding not being exactly what you think it is. As you see here, I'm looking through logs. I'm like, sometimes I go into Superbase and I'm looking at their logs and I'm sending that into Lovable and saying, this is the logs that I'm getting in Superbase. So the more intricate that you want your app to be, the more you're gonna have to know. You're not just gonna be able to sit back and tell it to do something, right? So anyways, that is my thoughts. Vibe coding is not what you think it is. They're going to try to sell it to you one way, but it's not that. It is not that. The more you know, the faster you can go. All the stuff that I've built, if I was to try to do it on my own, it would take me years if I ever did it at all. In a month and a half, 4 apps on the brink. And one maybe next week, the other one maybe in a month. And we'll go from there, right? And we will go from there. All right, let me check the chat. Let's see. Let me see what we got going on. Marquavia says, speaking of GPT, ChatGPT really helped me during my first week of stats. Shout out to you taking stats. And shout out to ChatGPT. And I think you're using it the right way. And I think there are so many more ways you can use it. I'll give you guys a quick example. I use it at work today. So, and Monica's gonna appreciate this. The type of work we do a lot of video type work, right? And we were trying to do something. We were having issues with it today, because we didn't know what it was. So I went into Gemini and says, look, this is what we're trying to do, and I described the way that we set it up, and I said, if I want to set this up in AWS and stuff like that, and this is how it should work. And Gemini gave me a whole step-by-step directions on how we would make it work. And I shared with the engineer, I'm like, all right, I shared with the engineer, like, take a look at this. This is what Gemini told me. I know we did a lot of this already, but see if there's any steps that were actually missing from what Gemini is saying versus what we did. And 5 minutes later, looking at it, and they're like, oh, I didn't check this one thing right here. Tried it, boom, working. Just like that. We spent half of the day trying to figure it out, and towards the end of the day, I'm like, oh, let me just check Gemini, because there's one little piece missing. I sent it over, and it's like, oh yeah, we didn't do this one part. Made the change. We are up and running. Effective prompting. What, like when I'm prompting and I'm trying to solve an issue, I don't just say I'm having this issue. I say, this is what I need to do. This is what I've done already. This is what I looked into. Like, and now it just goes back and it uses all that information that I used, and it comes back and it gives me the right information that I need. So integrating with the APIs of these large language models, it is gold. It is gold. Let me see. And Marquavius says, and no, I didn't cheat. I just had it break down what wasn't clicking. Look, I am on your side. I am on your team. I am nerdy. As you see, I am nerdy by nature.
You're such a nerd.
I am, and I love it. But Magnetar, you're using it the right way. I commend you for the way that you used the like ChatGPT to help you understand, because a lot of people, they don't use it that way, but you're helping it. You're actually using it in a very, very valuable way. So shout out to you as always, Magnetar. Wave Nerd says, make the song a heart puller. I think it is. I think most country music is a heart puller anyway, so we're gonna see. And we have the one, the only Monica D in the building. Monica says, hey all, lurking and working. I like that. And that might have to be my next t-shirt. Lurking and working. I like that. It says, if AI could deal with legacy code and clean up, refactor some of this legacy code mess these developers leave, it would be great. That is a fact.
Ain't believing us.
So I heard, Monica, have you tried Devin yet? Devin is not the cheapest, but it is. I don't know if he's all right. Last week, I released a video on how Devin added a feature to my app, to the time cost calculator. But one of the things that I made a huge mistake on was I had Devin add the feature to the wrong branch. And after the fact, after Devin had it working, I noticed that, oh yeah, the layout looks different. And I'm like, oh my God, I never merged the branch that had the work into main. And I said, you know what, Devin, are you able to merge this? Are you able to to figure out, keep what you added, but then merge from this branch? And Devin was able to do it. I heard Devin is good at working through legacy code. And one thing I like about Devin is you will see in the Devin browser where it is going through the steps that it's doing. Like it's like kind of testing it. I use Devin so let's say you have legacy code, right? And you don't have any unit tests. You could ask Devin to write the unit test, and it will, you know what? Let me just show you. What happened, what I did. Devin AI, log in. And if I can find the right session. Like I really wish I had the budget for Devin. I wish I had the budget because it would do so much good for me. All right, let me see. Is it this one? So let's look at that. So I showed actually this is what we're going to be seeing tomorrow. I go into great detail on this tomorrow, right? But I asked Devin to write the unit test for my time cost calculator, and it said like the passing test, right, the failing test, and how much time it would take to fix them. But then it also said the core functionality is solid, storage and calculation logic pass 100%, state management. Let me see. Production ready. The app functionality works despite test environment challenges. So for me, I'm like, it can help a lot. It's gonna take some eyeballs on it to make sure that it is working. It's not gonna be like a no intervention type thing, but it can get you set up. So one thing that I did, because I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna pay for Devin to fix all of my issues, but if it can create the foundation, and then I go in there and I can like get them to pass, then for me that's helpful. Let me see. Monica also said, Devin won't work at my job. This is not personal work I was referring to. It could help maybe, but I tried the internal AI and it got stuck over and over. Is it that Devin won't work because your company doesn't, like, they don't want it? Because I think if you can get, like, what I would say, if they can do a trial, maybe a 1 month, right? And they put, I don't know, they have them talk to Cognition Labs, and they, like, you say you prompt it to what you want to do, and it's gonna create a pull request, and then you can actually test that branch to see whatever is happening. Let's say you say refactor this legacy code. My prompt would be add it to the repo. Say set it up in your Devin environment, and say I need to refactor this code and write unit tests for it, and the unit tests need to be passing, and then you have it set up. You start up that branch, and you test it. You run your automation test or whatever type of test that you have on it. Make sure it's working. Make sure the unit tests that it writes are working as well, and then go from there. But if it's because like the company doesn't want it, that's different. Or maybe the sector that it's in. I don't know. I know my company, the company that I work for, they have they like, some people have access to Devin. So it just, I think from my uses of Devin, I think it could do a lot. But, like, there's company politics and stuff like that. So it just, I heard yesterday that Goldman Sachs is going to be using Devin big time. It's going to be like they're getting like 1,000 instances of Devin in order to work alongside its software engineers. So basically, they're going to give Devin to 1,000 of their software engineers to be able to work alongside. So I don't know. We have my guy Rod Brown in the building. What's up, Rod Brown? How are you doing? Hopefully everything is going well. Can't wait for your live stream tomorrow. Monica says, I think it would help them get more standardized in coding. Half of their problem is too many teams writing code different. That is true. See, and that's it's tough, because you want teams to have some type of autonomy, but you also want a coding standard as well. I would say look into if there's any GitHub actions that can at least try to keep some type of standard. Rod Brown, that's it. Rod Brown, as a web developer, software developer, how do you handle keeping consistency in coding across the company? Monica also says, in the same code base, everyone's scared to review PRs and send it back because of sloppy code. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you, the engineers that I work with, they are not afraid to send it back saying, hey, and they'll say, like, can we make this can we make this cleaner? Can we make that cleaner? And I just like, it also depends on the software engineers, And Monica says, we can't use any large language models that have to be private because of security issues, personal information. Yeah. I hear you. It's tough. I mean, I would say this because I was going back and forth with some of the people from Devin on X, or with one of the guys from Devin on X, and I would say this, even if you don't use it, I would talk to them to find out how they protect private information. because I think we end up like this.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
I would find out how they handle that. The private information, the personal information, it's tough. It's tough. Because like I think it's different from going into like ChatGPT and putting private information versus having a contract with one of these companies, and they're like, how do their policies handle it, and have the legal team go over their privacy policies and stuff like that, and what are the conditions so that we make sure we're not putting out private information. One of the policies at my company is that we don't enter private information into the like whatever software that we're using that's approved. But it can have access to our code, and you shouldn't have private information in the actual code. So Devin going through the code isn't necessarily the same as getting access to private information. And plus, in my mind, it wouldn't be connected to the production database that would have the private the personal information, right? So I don't know. It's the whole like that whole part is tricky. But I always say, like the right people should, like the security team, I guess, should be speaking to these providers, because we put ourselves behind the 8 ball when we don't at least find out. So that's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. All right. Next up is, let me see, what have on my agenda? So we got we got that done. We got that. So I wanted to create a prototype. Of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu application, right? I'm not going to plug up any database or anything to it, right? But one of the difficulties that we have, right, is that if you have ever done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you have definitely been to BJJ Fanatics, right? And you end up buying all these instructionals, and you don't have a way to manage it. You don't have a way to go about it. You don't have a way to practice it, right? So what I want to do, I want to figure out how to more effectively use the instructionals and train and like actually implement practice, like drilling them, and then make an app around it, right? So here's what we're going to do. Here is what we are going to do. We're going to go over here, and we are going to say, let me zoom in a little bit. We're going to say, I practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I have a lot of instructionals from bjjfanatics.com. However, I always find it difficult to drill what I learned in the instructionals, especially the ones from John Danaher. His instructionals are gold, but I don't really have a way to implement it. All right, so that is the issue, right? I would like a way to come up, or I would like some strategies. All right, I'm gonna say this. Most instructionals show moves in progression, but don't really share how to practice it. I find myself watching the videos, but not really a way to implement it, right? So bear with me. This seems weird, right? Like what the hell does this have to do with tech, right? But bear with me. I would like some strategies on how to drill what I learn from these instructionals so that I can be better at BJJ and not get beat up by a 16-year-old purple belt every time. And I'm just sharing some personal experience. So I'm just sharing some personal experience at this point. Every time. Yeah, there you go. Let's go and do that. So we're going with this, right? Just follow along. Like, it seems kind of crazy. I am a little crazy sometimes. Right? But there is a method to my madness, right? It says this. So it says, of course, this is one of the most common and frustrating plateaus in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You've correctly identified the problem. The gap between knowing a technique and implementing it under pressure. John Danaher's instructionals are a prime example. They are encyclopedic. I didn't even know that was a word. Encyclopedic systems, like a PhD level course. They are, but they often lack a for dummies drilling guide. All right, so if I'm able to pull this off, then I might have to actually turn this into a real app because I am sure I am not the only person with this issue, right? So let's get you a systematic approach to drilling that will turn that fire hose of information into a usable, higher percentage technique. Soon, that 16-year-old purple belt will be the one getting frustrated. That is my only goal right now, right? It says, here's a multi-phase strategy to take a move from BJJ Fanatics video to a high percentage part of your live game. Phase 1, the study hall, away from the mat. This is the most skipped step, but it's most important. It's most critical for Danaher's material. You cannot absorb this level of detail passively. Choose one system at a time. Don't watch. They even go to this. Don't watch. Enter the system leg locks on Monday, front headlocks on Tuesday, and back attacks on Wednesday. Choose one system, for example, front headlocks, and commit to it for at least 4 to 6 weeks. Look at that. Love it. It says active note taking. Get a notebook dedicated to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. As you watch, don't just observe. Write down the principles. Danaher always starts with core principles. For example, in front headlocks, the 3 essential elements are an elbow clamp, a chin strap, and head position. Write these down. Create flow charts. The most powerful tool for Danaher systems is the flow chart. This is all right. So that's all right. Cool. So if then, all right. So this is technical, right? If then, all right. Yeah. Focus on a chunk. Don't try to learn an entire 8-hour instructional. Watch one small section. I kind of do that. Now, phase 2, the laboratory. Controlled partner drilling, and this is the part that's tough, right? Controlled partner drilling. This is where you build muscle memory. You need a willing partner for this. The key here is progressive resistance. Exactly. Drilling 0, pure repetition, no resistance. Your partner gives you exact look you need for offer. All right. Cool. So I'm not gonna get too much into this, but this is like how it's telling you to get better at this, right? The proving ground, live rolling implementation. All right, cool. I'm not gonna read through all of it. I'm gonna read this on my personal time, but sample week 1 training guide. Yeah. All right, cool. So here is where we go. Right now. Here comes the technical part. Here comes the technical part about this. I would like to build an app on the Lovable platform where it will be your BJJ personal coach, where it will help implement everything that was mentioned above. I need a comprehensive application outline on how this app would work. Put lovable here, capital. How this app would work. I should be able to enter the instructional and the URL to it, and it should break down a learning strategy and schedule for me to be effective at destroying my 16-year-old arch nemesis as a 40-plus-year-old man. All right, how about that? How about that? Let's see. So that is what I want it to do. Okay. So now I'm gonna go here. So now it's gonna give me the outline of the actual application. All right, that is the goal. I have a crazy way of coming up with ideas, right? I have a crazy way of coming up with ideas, right? So, application outline, core mission to transform passive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructional video consumption into active, systematic, and measurable training regimen. Core problem solve bridges the gap between knowing a technique and applying it effectively under pressure during live roll. Create something new. Cool. And now, target user, the dedicated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner like yourself who invests in instructionals but needs a structured framework to implement the material efficiently. All right. This outline says instructional hub. This is the user digital library. Manual entry, users can add instructionals they own. Input field so the name of it, purchase date, chapter breakdown, optional but not recommended. A feature to list out the main chapters or sections of the instructional. It allows the app to assign specific viewing homework. Tracking, status tracking. Each instructional can be marked as not started, in progress, and that they kind of have that already on BJJ Fanatics. The main part, I think this is the part, right? The deconstructor learning plan generator. This is what I want. This is the core engine of the app. Plan initiation, system selection. All right. Time commitment, automatic schedule generation. Ooh, I like that. Daily drill dash. I like that as well. Viewing assignment, a direct link to the instructional URL. So here's another feature I want to add to it. I want it to be like a Duolingo feature that you have points based on your consistency in doing that drilling, right? Mat side. All right. So I'm not gonna read through all of this, but what I'm gonna say is in the outline, I would also like a Duolingo style way of gamifying the application. And then because of what we find out about Capacitor, after we get the web app set up through Lovable, then we can use Capacitor to turn into a mobile app as well, right? I would also like a Duolingo style way of gamifying the application, so that it encourages users to continue drilling on a regular basis, and there can be a community to see who is consistent with their drilling and have a streak indicator and what has been drilled the most by the community in the past week, month, 6 months, and year, and all time. So let's add. So now we're adding to this feature, right? All right. So it should be added. All right. So if we look here, let me see. Daily drill dashboard. User opens user's daily home screen. Today's mission: a clear card outlining daily task. Watch chapter 3. Perform level 1 drilling. Drilling instruction: a brief description of required drilling levels. Yada yada. Check off and reward. When the user checks off the day's task, they extend their drill streak, earn drill points, see a satisfying animation confirming their progress. Streak indicator: a prominent. All right, cool. Perfect. This is great. The streak system: daily check-in, completing today's mission. Streak freeze: users can earn or purchase a streak freeze with drill points, allowing them to miss one day without losing their streak. All right, look at that. Oh, this is so sweet. And but you see how I come up with like a little idea turns into something major. Now I have to build it.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'm telling you, this is how I find myself in these situations, right? So next up, what we're gonna do is I need a lovable style prompt on how I could create a prototype of all the features mentioned in the outline. Let's see. Include the app. The app should be geared towards, I say BJJ practitioners, and be responsive, captivating, and intriguing. Make it a minimalist approach that makes or design that makes it easy to navigate, quick to use, and document. Status. Use cool icons and for it to not be bland and boring. All right, let's go and get our lovable prompt. Let's see what we get out of that. All right. All right, so here we go. Create a fully functional single file React app that serves as a high fidelity prototype for a BJJ personal coach. The application should be designed with a minimalist dark theme that is both captivating and easy to navigate. The prototype must include the following features populated with realistic mock data to make it look like a live application. Main dashboard, navigation, instructional hub. Cool. Nemesis. A nemesis tracker? I might build it just for this. Display a nemesis profile with a nickname. For example, the 16-year-old purple belt. Use simple cards or stats to show progress, attempts, dominant positions, and submission. That is actually a very, very good feature. Tracking your progress. Include a basic visual chart to represent progress over time. That's very cool. Let's see. So I'm gonna copy this. I am going to copy this just like I'm gonna go here. I don't know if I want it to be a single file app though. Just copy this. We're gonna go into Lovable, and we're gonna go back over here, and I'm gonna just paste out just like that, right? I don't know if I want it to be a single. I don't know if I want. I can leave it at that for now, right? Let's see what it's gonna come up with, right? I'm going to say. I'll leave it at that for now. Let's just do it as is, right? Let's do it as is. And I'm gonna say workspace. Workspace. All right, cool. Let's do that. And we're gonna do a. We're gonna send it. We're gonna send it. We're gonna see what it comes up with, right? So it's gonna do its thing. It's going to create all of that I gave it. And while it's doing that, I'm gonna let it do its thing. We are going to I'm gonna check the chat to see what my good friend Rod Brown had to say. Rod Brown says, "Good question," and that good question too. When I asked, like, how does he, as a lead senior software engineer, how does he ensure good code quality across different teams? Rod Brown says, "We use Git as far as a shared repository, and all of our code is stored within our ITS servers or on SharePoint. We also have a contract with Slack, but we don't store code there." Interesting. So I was good. I guess I was part of the question I was asking Rod Brown was, how do you make sure like good coding practices are being followed across the company, across the organization? Because like Monica was saying, on her team, for instance, they can have great code, but then on another team, they're like the wild west. So now, for some reason, her team becomes the owner of the wild west's team project, and now there's like coding standards are like out the window. They're trying to, and there's not really good unit tests, and they don't have the ability to bring in tools like Devon to help clean up, help refactor and stuff like that. So the key would be to ensure that the company has some type of good coding standard and good coding practice from the get-go. But the question is like, how do you ensure that? That is tough. That is tough because the thing is, software development teams are supposed to, like, especially in Scrum, right? They're independent, they're self-contained. So the code reviews are being done by the team itself. Sometimes some people outside of the team might look at it, but everyone is busy. So you're not going to find people outside of the team typically looking at other people's code reviews and stuff like and pull requests. So now when you become the owner of that brand, like what the hell is this code? Right? So that is a good point. That is I think that let's do this. Let's go to Gemini again. Turn images into video. No thanks. Let's say Manus. You know what? Let me use let me see if I can use Manus instead. Right? Let me use Manus instead. Let's go. Oh, looks like it's done. What the heck just happened here? What am I? All right, so we are going to say, all right, let's just do Gemini. Are there any AI-based tools that we can implement in Git? Well, I guess we can't do, if it's AI, then if you can't use large language models, then that would be a problem. Are there any? Well, let's just add implement as GitHub actions to ensure that engineers are following good coding practices and writing valid unit tests. Several AI-based tools can be integrated into GitHub to help enforce good coding practices. Let's see. CodeRabbit, formerly Code AI. CodeRabbit is an AI-powered code reviewer that provides line-by-line suggestions on your pull request. It focuses on making code more readable, efficient, and robust. GitHub Copilot Enterprise, Sonar Cloud, while not purely AI-based. Unit test generation, Codium AI, Diff Blue Cover, GitHub Action Implementation. So, I guess it's tricky if you can't use a large language model, but I would push back a little bit on whoever made that decision at the company to say our code should not have any personal information in it. And if this tool is only looking at our code, which then if it's only looking at our code, then it should be okay. And it's not sharing out our code as well. So I don't know. I think a discussion needs to be made. I think that needs to come to the front. All right. So, anyways, let's go back and take a look at what was generated for us. So, welcome back, warrior. Ready to learn to level up your game. Drill streak 7 days in a row. Today's mission. Let me pop this up over here. Instructionals. Enter the system. Front headlocks in progress. Continue learning. Can I get anything? All right. Let me see. Butterfly, heel hooks, pressure system passing, community, guard puller 92. That is hilarious. I can see these as actual usernames. Most drill techniques this month: Ashigarami entries, Kimura systems, triangle setups, submission machine, all-time drill points, guard retention, flow roller. Why do I have so many low points? Let's see, journal, completion prep notes, nemesis, the 16-year-old purple belt. Let's see. Strategy notes, focus on grip to prevent their aggressive take. Oh my god. Can you imagine that using AI for jiu-jitsu? Let me see. Today's mission, mark complete. Refresh that. Let's see. I'm gonna ask it to. Can you add Ooh, I have an idea. Let me see. Can you add a little more mock data so that we can have some more details when we click on continue learning from the your instructionals section, and where it has a breakdown of a skill or of a breakdown of a technique and key ways to break that technique down to master it and the different phases of drilling it. Also, can we add and analyze? Why not analyze my training or competition video where you can pass it a URL and it uses AI to give you a breakdown of your performance on what you did well, what mistakes you made, and how to correct those mistakes. Why not go for the gusto, right? Why not go for the gusto? Why not? Why not? Let's push it to the limit. Let's see what we can get. While we're waiting for that, let me go read what Rod Brown had to say. Rod Brown says, "Oh, sorry, didn't answer that properly. So we are working with IT. What is ITS, by the way? If you can let me know what ITS is right now to test out our GitHub Copilot code reviewing. Since we have a contract with Microsoft, we are trying to utilize all the things." Nice. Okay, that makes because GitHub does have like where it has the code review and stuff like that, So that's pretty cool. It makes sense. That makes sense. Rod Brown also says, since my team focuses on the public web and is separate from private IT things, we work with ITS to stay in compliance. So we try to utilize tools to stay in compliance. Makes sense. That makes sense. Like compliance is key. It's just figuring out what that limit is, and that's why I always say, because they'll say, "Oh, we can't do it." Let's have a conversation about it. Reach out to whoever the providers are and say, okay, this is our situation. Are you able to stay within these boundaries? And then if you're able to stay within these boundaries, then now we bring security into it and see what we can work out. Can we work out a deal, right? So that is my thoughts, right? All right, let's go. After this, we're gonna be done. Well, let's do this. While that's happening, let me do something real quick. Let me go to. Let me see information. Information technology service. All right, cool. Thank you, Rod Brown. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Let me do this. Let's do. Let's see. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this real quick, all right? So, I canceled my Mid-Journey subscription. So this is what happened, right? I've been using Mid-Journey for maybe a year now, and just last month they included the ability to generate video. The ability to generate video, right? These little 5-10 seconds videos. And I got trigger happy with it, and I'm create this video here, create this video there, and that used up all of my credits on Midjourney. I'm a token fiend. What can I say?
You're such a nerd.
I am, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. But I used up everything, and I had like 15 days left to go, and I used Midjourney to create my thumbnails for pretty much all of my videos, right? And in the apps that I've been building, I ended up signing up for a company called Runware, right? Which is API based to generate thumbnails. But I was like, the qualities aren't the greatest from what I was seeing, right? But the problem was me. The problem was me. So when my Midjourney subscription like when I used it all up in a short amount of time, and I was like, I'm not gonna pay more, right? So I said, well, let me see if I can use Runware for the rest of the month. I learned so much about Runware this past 2 weeks. And what I learned about Runware is, number one, they have a pay-as-you-go model, right? So you put in like $20 of credit in there, but the thing is, they have access to so many different models, right? And I can pick and choose which model that I want to use. So Midjourney says that I would be able to generate about 200 images a month with using Midjourney, and I have to do it through Discord or through their website. With Runware, I'm able to do it through an API call, so I can integrate it into any app that I'm using, which that's what I do now, right? But what I found out was that they have a bunch of different imaging models, and you can change the model, and that changes the quality of the image and the type of image you want to generate. This is nerd talk, right? This is nerd talk right now. So I can say I want a really, really high quality thumbnail or image generated, not necessarily thumbnail, image generated, and I might pay 4 cents for that thumbnail, 8 cents for that thumbnail, or I can get use another model that is 0.001 cent for that model. But wait, there's more. There is more. What? Yes, there's more. I found out that it has access to the Google Veo 3 model, so it can do like text to video generation with Veo, with the different models of Veo. It can do it with like Minimax, with Kling, and at one point I had a subscription to Kling, right? I have Gemini Pro, so on Gemini Pro I can create 3 Veo 3 images or videos per day. But let's say I wanted to programmatically create Veo 3 videos, right? And charge to do that. So let's say they charge, like, it's cost like $4 to create a Veo 3 video, right? I can say, well, if someone wants to create an 8-second video on some application that I build, then I could say I'm charging $15 for it, right? So through programming, now I'm saving a lot more money, because I use a model that is like, I can generate like 3,000 images for $10, right? Versus I'm paying $10 a month for Midjourney, and I don't have access to all the models that I have now. And I'm like, for $10, it's like 20, it's like 20, or it's like 200 images, versus for $10, 3,000, and it's not a monthly fee. It's like pay as you go. So once my credits run out, I re-up and I keep going that way, right? So it's a little bit more technical to use that platform, but like I said, vibe coding isn't what you think it is. If you're using it like passively, I just want to create some images, cool, great, go Midjourney. But as you start to be into the programming realm, building applications, integrating with APIs, these are the tools that, and just by using these type of platforms, I want to do that, boom, there we go, right? So that is why I canceled my Midjourney subscription this month, right? I wasn't able to use it anyway, but now I have Runware, pay as you go. I can say how cheap or how expensive I want my image or video generation to be.
Bruh.
Thank you, Midjourney. It's been real. All right. So this thing is allegedly finished. Let's go ahead and take a look at it before we wrap up for tonight. All right, so I'll add a more detailed mock for instructional section with technique breakdown plus an AI video analysis feature. Let me create a separate component to keep the code organized. I've added the comprehensive mock data and functionality to your enhanced BJJ coach prototype. Video analysis upload, a video URL for analysis, detailed performance breakdown with scores, identify strengths and areas for improvement. I have no idea if AI can actually do this, but that would be really, really cool if it could. I'm gonna have to explore that, right? But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at, where is the, oh, okay, it's right here. upload your. This would be. Actually, I want to tap over here. So let's say we go here. Video URL supports video, YouTube, Vimeo, and direct video links. So we should make it support links to Google Drive. Let me open up over here. Hold on. Let's go to here. Refresh that. And analyze video. So I'm speaking about it like this is an actual functioning app, right? Maybe it will be one day. Maybe it will be. Technique, execution, and timing. Position transitions and control, submission attempts and defense, movement, efficiency and flow, strategic decision making, instructionals, continue learning, key points. So enter the system front headlocks, head control and posture breaking, hip positioning. This is so cool. Static position drill. Practice holding the front headlock position with proper grip and posture. Focus, grip strength, head positioning, shoulder pressure. Start drill, review. Entry drilling, drill entries from various positions. Sprawl, shot defense, collar tie. Oh my God, this is crazy. Position lives. Oh my God, this is so cool. This is so cool. And this is just a prototype, right? This is just a prototype. I'm excited. I might have to actually do this. I might have to actually build this out and see what happens. All right. Anyways, that's it for tonight. That is it for tonight. I hope you had a good time. You saw live how I think through in real time ideas, right? What is a problem that I have, and I know a lot of people who do the things that I do have. Boom. And I just describe it. And I say, how can we fix this problem? And cool. Now, how can I turn it into an application? Boom. Give me a prompt. Boom. Now we have something. And then you say, you go to Manus after that. You say, hey, Manus, give me a pricing model for this. Give me a pricing model for this. Say, Lovable, add some Stripe integration to it. Bada bing, bada boom. You have a monetized application. Anyways, that is it. Those are my thoughts for tonight. Let me know your thoughts. If you're watching this on playback, leave me a comment. Let's talk about it. And I will be happy to revisit it next week. But that is it. Do me a favor as we wrap up the show. If you have not done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. Check out techcoachralph.dev. I have my sprint reviews in there. I have my vibe coding, our vibe code and chill sessions on the weekends where I'm using up some of my credits like you saw me doing today, answering questions on Google Meet, hanging out with you guys, having fun, sharing ideas, sharing strategies, giving you my insight. It's a great way to connect with me one-on-one or one in a meeting, right? But we just chill, and then I upload the playback of the meeting inside of the Patreon, so whoever was not able to watch it, they can see. We spent like two and a half hours vibe coding over there, and I show you like how I figure out these integrations, all these different platforms, right? So check out techcoachralph.dev. If you like the merch, Nerdy by Nature, the Token Fiend t-shirt, that's merch.techcoachralph.dev. Get yours today. Somebody who bought it the other day told me that it is so soft and comfortable, and it is a representation of their nerddom. You're
such a nerd.
Yep. Indeed. All right. And as well, Captivity album on all major streaming platforms. Check it out. One of my favorite albums. But that is it for tonight. I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. I will see you guys in the morning. Tech Coach Ralph, we are out.
People watch watch as the clock ticks by, but I'm the storm in the endless sky. I'll climb the mountain, no matter the slope. Fueled by hunger, fueled by hope.
They sit and watch as the clock just spins, but I'm out here chasing where it begins. I don't need luck, I don't need a sign, just a fire in my soul and a dream that's mine.
All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me fall. Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the sky.
I'm betting it all, no second glance. Got fire in my soul, I'll take the chance. No time for sitting, no time to stall. The world is spinning, I'll have it all.
They say the world just turns and waits, but I've got no time for those debates. The fire in my chest, it burns so bright. I'll take the dark and turn it to light. All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me fall. Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the sky. No retreat, no looking back. I'll carve my name on this beaten track. They'll say I dream too wild, too bold, but I'll write my story in lines of gold.
All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me fall. Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the skies. And touch the skies. No fear in losing, no time to doubt. Every whisper, I'll drown it out. I'll rise higher with every stride. The flame of passion, my only guide.